Welcome to the Sing to Thrive podcast. Today we're joined by Freja Eriksen, also known as the Singing Doctor. She is a medical doctor with a PhD as well as a singer-songwriter who blends science and music to inspire health, resilience and human connection. From major stages across Europe to transformative workshops and concerts, her work unites lyrical storytelling through song, evidence-based breathing and live vocal looping to help people calm their nervous system and spark lasting change and uplift the planet one song at a time. Welcome, Freja.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me and for the wonderful introduction.
You're more than welcome.
We're excited to jump into this conversation with you. So you're known as the Singing Doctor. How did your path in medicine lead you to merge science with music in such a unique way?
Well, it has actually been a while on the way because I started out as a musician and actually thought I was going to pursue that. But then, actually during a meditation, it came to me that I should study medicine and it felt right. So I did that. And then for many years it was separate. So I just made sure to make time for my music as well, but studied medicine and worked as a medical doctor. And then at some point I felt like merging them because in a way, I also felt like two separate parts of myself. So I actually also needed them to merge. but I found it very powerful because we all know the effects that music can have on people and on us who are performing it, but on us all. But to be able to dive into the evidence as the nerd I am, and both the evidence for the music, but also for the messages I have in my lyrics. But I just found it very powerful to be able to speak to both the head with the evidence and then to the heart, of course, with the music. So I'm really glad I merged it, but it took a while before I did it. Yeah.
Yes, it evolved. It evolved for you. And that's similar story for us.
Yeah.
The same with me. Like, I knew how good singing made me feel. I could sing to myself. I could literally feel happy within 3 or 4 minutes as a kid, right?
Yeah.
The feeling of it felt beautiful and it felt like love. But I realize now we're connecting to source. And that was always when I sang, I would be waiting for that feeling. And I knew how to get it. I knew if I just hooked into my heart and sang from that place with feeling.
Yeah.
Because you can sing technically perfectly, but be in your head singing technically perfect. But you won't connect with people because you're not feeling anything, so they're not feeling you. And I noticed that when I saw your YouTube. I caught sight of you on the Bruce Lipton newsletter and then looked at your YouTube and thought, firstly, I thought, wow, she's got great vocal technique. She's got a beautiful voice. So now that I've heard that, okay, you're a musician already, and then you became a doctor, that makes total sense. And then the consciousness behind the lyrics is perfect. And it's like, oh, that's what we're doing. This is perfect. We've got a singing doctor.
Yeah.
With someone with real cred behind the science and the benefits of what music, singing and sound gives us. So because we know that music, singing and sound is more than art and that it's a medicine, can you share a moment where you saw someone's life shift instantly through song?
Well, I guess that must be mostly because I'm not working like one-on-one with people with it. So it's more like in the context of a workshop or a concert or something like that. But then I would say it's mainly in the eyes of people. I can see it because it just seems like something opens up and kind of they remember something that they might have forgotten. And I don't know like afterwards how it has affected their life exactly, but I mean, people have told me that after some of the concerts or something, they kind of feel like their body are on a new level and like their souls are dancing and their hearts are open and I mean, when you walk into life with that feeling, it's a pretty different life, if you can keep that feeling at least. Yeah, so that's what I've learned from my experience.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Can you just tell us the few different types of doctor roles you've played? Because I know you know a lot about the nervous system and regulating that, and then metabolic function. Is that right? Like, what are some of the avenues that you go down, and how does music interweave with that?
Yeah, well, my background as a medical doctor is kind of broad because I was trying to figure out which direction to go. So I've been in a lot of different places. So it's been everything from internal medicine to general practice to psychiatry to neurology, and actually now in something called clinical biochemistry, which is really nerdy. And has to do with blood samples and how we analyze the blood in the best way possible. But then also I did the certification in functional medicine in the United States. And that is more, it's kind of a more holistic approach where you both look at the biochemistry in the cells, like exactly which nutrients do they need and why, because of like how do they work as cofactors in reactions and all sorts of nerdy, really fun stuff, but also the social and the mental and the spiritual. So you kind of go all around, and then you're right. The metabolic part comes in during my PhD, because I wrote a PhD about our energy metabolism. So in that sense, it's pretty broad, and I would actually love if I had done some research in music, because I mean, if I were to do research again, I would really love that, but I haven't done that yet. So until now, I've done a minor study, but but I'd love to do that because it's really exciting. The things happening in the research world of music, I think.
With the biochemistry and like the blood samples, do you know of, or have you done anything in your current work that's looking at the changes in the blood when you sing? Have you seen anything like personally?
No, unfortunately not. I haven't done any of that work myself. I met with a colleague, another medical doctor who's also into sound and music, and she has actually she has a microscope, so she looks at the red blood cells before and after music sessions, and she thought she could see a difference. And I must admit, it looks like there was a difference. She had taken like photos she showed me, but I haven't done that myself. No.
Well, I have.
You have, and what have
Yeah,
you seen?
I was involved in an experiment where we, the first morning or the first day that we did this, Madeline, were you involved in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. And we played, the first day there was someone playing Tibetan gongs, and we had our bloods taken before and after. And the biggest thing that we saw, because before the blood was quite coagulated.
And this was using live blood analysis.
Yeah, live blood analysis. So straight away you could see the change was the cells were separated, more round and flowing.
Yeah.
And then the next day I played the crystal bowls and we sang and used voice, just omming and humming and that sort of thing. That was the biggest change.
Yeah.
The blood was amazingly, again, the cells were sort of all clumping together before and afterwards, completely separate and flowing like a river.
Yeah.
So, and I've also been involved with live blood analysis with our colour and sound series. So beforehand we took, and I've got a video of this up on our YouTube, we took shots of my blood before doing this 7-minute activation where it's chromotherapy, I'm looking at colour, and I'm also humming along. And in this one it was C note. So C note is playing and there's 3 octaves of C note playing, and I'm humming along with middle C basically. And after that, after 7 minutes, we did the blood test again, and wow, The woman taking the blood test results was like, wow, you can really see a difference. And we took photos and film. Then I sent the red colour and sound. No, I sent the purple one to a gentleman that in Australia, and he's been doing live blood analysis for more than 30 years. His name is Tony Boutros, and he really took his time. Like, I had to keep hassling him. Can you do this research? He finally did it because he didn't really think he was going to see anything life-changing. And boy, oh boy, was he shocked. Wow. And he said even in the dry bloods afterwards, how it was showing cellular repair.
Wow.
And this is what sound does. Yeah. So I'd like to hear from your perspective, because you're a singer, right? And you know how it makes you feel. So we know the benefits, but let's really give the people that are listening the benefits from your mouth, like being the doctor and knowing what it does to the nervous system. And
like
the brain.
what singing does when we sing ourselves, or
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, you're right. From my experience, I feel, I feel a huge difference when I sing myself, and I see it as well. And I'm so fortunate to sing in a choir every week, a wonderful gospel choir. And so, of course, I see it in all the choir members as well. So it's kind of obvious, but there is a lot of research as well. And some of it, I think, regarding cortisol, the stress hormone, I find that pretty fascinating that singing is able to lower our cortisol levels, because when we think about, the chronic stress in our nowadays world, who haven't got chronic stress sometimes? And when we look at how that's associated to, unfortunately, most of the chronic diseases we have, then I think it's pretty powerful that we can actually lower these cortisol levels with our voice, with singing, and also, it especially when we sing together. For me, that's really magical, and here we see an increase in the oxytocin levels, which is kind of this love hormone we also get when we hug each other or cuddle our dog or something like that. And for me, that really means a lot, because I think as humans we are really we really need to feel this connection to both to ourselves, but also to each other, and to something bigger than ourselves. And this is exactly what oxytocin helps us feel. So in that sense, it gives us a lot of meaning, and meaning in our life has also been shown to be associated with longevity and just life quality in general. So I think there's a lot of things, and actually some studies has also shown that at least in some cases it's able to increase our immune system, the level of some kinds of antibodies, so they are kind of even more ready to go after bacteria and viruses, so we don't get them into our system. And as a pain reliever, it's shown that it can reduce pain. And I've actually got quite a story about that myself, because I was really pregnant. I think I had like 1 month left of my pregnancy, and I was out with this choir I was talking about, and we had 2 jobs that day, and this was before the second one, and I was kind of having a headache, which I usually, I never had headaches, but I did. Maybe it was a bit too much for me with my huge stomach, but then I asked my choir director if maybe I could, skip that concert, because I didn't feel that good. And then we weren't that many that day, so he asked if maybe I could consider staying anyway, because it meant a lot for the soundscape. And so I did, and then we sang, and of course after we sang, my headache was totally gone. And I mean that can be because of a lot of things, because it could also be tensions loosening up, but it could be the singing. But it's just, for me, it's just a great example to have in my own life and in my own body. Yeah.
Totally, because it oxygenates the blood so quickly
Yeah.
because it's a form of breath work.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
because I found that pretty amazing actually, because I mean, we naturally expand our exhalation because I mean we have to in order to sing our notes. And as you probably know, that's exactly what activates our vagus nerves and parasympathetic nervous system. So we, yeah, in a very fun and automatic way, we do breath work, and that's pretty cool, I think.
Yes, because the singing is like a sonic massage for all the organs. You're massaging the vagus nerve, everything's receiving sound. And the Tibetan monks, they do a lot of humming and omming and vocal toning. And their belief is that we activate our original DNA blueprint through our own unique voice signature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
amazing.
just by using our voice or specific
Yes.
notes or
No, just
Yeah.
using your voice. There are definitely
yeah.
powerful sounds and notes that we can sing. But as Jonathan Goldman said in the podcast that we did with him, it doesn't really matter what tone or sound you're singing, because it's all about intention.
Yeah.
If we're in our hearts, and you know that when you sing something, if you're in your heart and you sing it, it feels expansive. And that's having an immediate effect on your entire physiology. So epigenetically, because you sing positive lyrics like we do,
Yeah.
those positive lyrics are sending like commands, like our 50 trillion cells are sitting there taking their commands from our belief system, right? Because we're a product of our subconscious belief systems. But when we start doing things more consciously and we're singing things with intention and with these words, that's sending that powerful message directly to ourselves. So if you're singing something like, I am healthy, you know, I am lovable, and all these positive life-affirming lyrics, that starts to create the positive neuroplasticity in the brain, epigenetically enhances cellular function,
Yeah.
as well as with any form of humming, we're creating nitric oxide, and that's called the healing molecule. So there's so much that using our voice can do. And I'd like to hear your take on the work that I've done around authenticity and understanding that authenticity is a higher frequency than love. Did you know that? It measures on the energetic scale higher than love. And when I first heard that, I thought, well, that makes complete sense, because it's the highest form of self-love when we're authentic. So when we're singing authentically and using conscious intention and these powerful life-affirming words with music and sound, we're literally harmonizing our entire system. So authenticity is so healing.
Yeah.
So
That makes a lot of sense. I haven't heard that before, but it resonates. It feels right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, your debut album, It's Time for a Sustainable World, combines music with a call for social change. And I'd love to know your opinion on how you think your songs, or any songs that are uplifting and inspiring, can influence behavior and inspire action in people.
Yeah. Well, that's a very interesting question, and I really do believe that it has a lot of power, because when I mean, again, we've all experienced having, you know, just feeling something instantly because of music we are hearing, and the thing is that our behavior is very much controlled by our feelings. So when we feel differently, we think differently, and then we can act differently. So it's kind of like the way I see it, like a bypass, because we go directly into the feelings. And I mean, research shows that as well, that music has this pretty amazing ability to activate almost all the neurocenters in the brain that has to do with feelings. So in that way, it makes sense as well. And I just, for me, both regulating our actions towards living a life where we are treating ourselves in the best way possible, to thrive and just be healthy and happy. I think music is very powerful to help one do that when you choose your music consciously, because as we're talking about the lyrics, and also of course the way the music is built, but lyrics is a pretty obvious way for people to look into it, and for me it's really important, actually, the lyrics for the music I'm listening to, because I know how it bypasses. So I want to listen to lyrics that are uplifting and does something good to me. And then for the kind of the more sustainability aspect, as I like to think of as well, I think it's pretty powerful there too, because music helps us connect to each other as well. I mean, we know the feeling when we are at concerts. We kind of sometimes feel like we're just one big organism, which I think we all are anyway. But we feel it more like clearly in these situations. And to me, the more we can feel that connection to both ourselves and each other, and also the organism we're part of. As I mean, I like to actually in the title song for the album, I call like, as mankind, our body is the earth, because that's kind of obvious, I think. But so we have to take care of it, and when we, with lyrics and music kind of combined, gives that message, I just think it's pretty powerful, because more we feel that connection, the more we automatically will act in alignment with what we need ourselves, but also what our fellow people and the planet needs. So I think it is really powerful, and a good thing to use very consciously.
Yeah, because it's that heart-brain coherence too, isn't it? When we all come into that together. And
Yeah.
like you said before, singing in the choir, that is everyone's heart is coming into coherence. And of course the body's producing oxytocin, so everyone's bonding, and then we just trust more deeply, and we feel less alone in the world.
Yeah,
So
it's so true.
Powerful.
Yeah, the experience I have in my own choir is just really emphasizes that, because I mean, the breaks aren't that long, so it's not like I have time to talk with everybody in the choir every time. So we don't talk that often, but we just really feel like one huge choir family, because I think because we sing together. So it just, I think that's pretty amazing.
Talking, it becomes irrelevant. It's not even words aren't needed. The bonding is, and the connection is from connecting to that same space when you sing together. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, also to be able to use that in other contexts, like at work or in organizations, and we have in some periods at my workplace, we've had like singing every Friday together, and I've also facilitated something like that when I'm out doing my thing, and I just really find that pretty amazing too, because it really can do wonders in various settings. Yeah.
Totally. It's such a good idea to do that. And I know you talk about this in some of your videos and some of your offerings, but it's sort of what we're talking about now, singing the world into a better place. So in your opinion, like, what do you think would actually happen if millions of people around the world did just that?
Yeah, if they sang your songs or Sing to Thrive songs, positive, uplifting music, can you imagine? It's such a vibe. It raises everyone's vibration. You're just on on a high with joy.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely imagine that could do wonders. I mean, the way I see it, it's just if one is in a place that is not that joyful and not that optimistic, there's kind of huge leap from that, and then to listen to that kind of songs and sing them. But if people actually did it, then I really, I mean, that would be amazing. I'm almost starting crying because I really think that could, yeah, be huge.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's start.
What we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing it, but imagine bringing everyone together at once. I mean, we know what it's like when you watch a choir, some big YouTube production where a choir's singing together. It just sends chills down your spine because you're just feeling that frequency wash through your body, because ultimately we're all energy.
Yeah.
On a cellular level, we're all energy. And that's where music and sound and singing are so powerful, because it's heart-based energy that's washing through us. And so being conscious of what you surround yourself with, you said this before, what music you listen to, that's actually an act of self-love, because we're then saying, no, actually, I do not want to listen to that, and then just changing it up. It's like putting the TV on.
Yeah.
Like that bombards you with negativity, right? I haven't owned a TV for 10 years. So it's choosing, what do I want to surround myself with? Because we are epigenetically, we are affected by our environment, and our cells are communicating with our environment and letting us know whether we're safe or not. So you could just have some random sound happening that can be triggering a subconscious thing. So being really aware of the sounds around us, and like a lot of people might live in a really busy area, right? That's very, very noisy. That literally numbs our whole sensory system down, because the body needs to do that to survive. And I know, even just from my childhood and having trauma, I shut my feeling body down, and it was the singing that helped to wake it up, that helped me to feel again. And I had to work around feeling safe to feel my feelings, because they felt so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So, and singing's so good for that too. If people have got pent up emotions, blocked stuff that they can't talk about, the first thing that happens when we hear a song or a sad song, that can trigger and help us to express emotions that we haven't given permission for ourselves to feel.
Yeah.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it really resonates when you say that, because it's kind of similar to what I've experienced, in the sense that I think for some reason I've always had a feeling of being kind of maybe not safe, or just, I don't know if it's just because I tend to feel the world so much, and there's a lot in the world that is not necessarily safe, but I always had this tendency to an unease in my nervous system, like it's kind of like that. But then I always sang. I mean, when I was a child, like if I didn't eat or talk or sleep, I was singing. So my mom would get really worried if I wasn't singing, because then she knew something was wrong. That was kind of her way of of knowing if everything was okay. So I really resonate with what you're saying, because I think it has helped me a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah, and to bridge back the worlds again, what do you think, like, if the medical world embraced music and singing as a healing modality, what would healthcare look like, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I actually do think we will get there. It will probably be quite a lot of years, I think, but maybe not everywhere. I can only talk from my experience here in Denmark. But I think it would be amazing. I mean, I know we use it, we actually do use it in some places. For example, after an operation or something, some places they can put some kind of classical music on to kind of calm the nervous system and reduce the pain, so they need a little bit less like medicine for that. So it is used a bit, but it could be used a lot more, and I think it would be so helpful. And yeah, actually I think I've got enough education in my life, but I would actually love to take a music therapy education, because I know so much has happened and there's so much research there, and it can really help a lot.
Yeah, totally. I think it would just, especially if it, with the amount of mental health issues and social isolation and like this loneliness epidemic that's everyone's talking about, I think that's where the power of music really resonates for me. If in any kind of like counseling or psychology, any of those practices where people need support with their mental health, music is so powerful and it's so simple, and it's something people can integrate into their daily life.
Yeah.
Do you have any practices that you use on a daily basis that you would recommend for someone with any kind of mental, emotional health issue?
Well, I think then it would be to use music actively when you, well, either, for example, that's why I made the song "Breathe," the most recent one, because I wanted to use music to support our breathing, because as I said, I have had an unease in my nervous system. So for me, it has been sometimes hard to breathe deeply, and to use music consciously, either with that song, because that guides exactly how to breathe, and lyrics that supports that process. But it could also just be if you meditate. I find it helps a lot to put music on that kind of supports my state while I meditate. It's much easier for me to meditate when I use music than when I just sit still with nothing. And I mean that's totally fine as well if that for some people, but the way I see it, music can really help there too. And of course, I mean, to use it for dancing, that's pretty amazing too, because as you said, with singing, you you just feel good when you've been singing, and for me that's the same with dancing. So it's just, there's so many modalities, like both the calm soothing to put on when you need that, and then the fun uplifting when you need to just dance. And so in many ways I think we can implement it to just help us regulate our emotions and our whole system.
Totally. And while you were just speaking, I was thinking about all of the people who come to me who just are so scared to sing and have so many issues around using their voice. And that's where humming comes in, or simply using music with intention if you're just listening to it.
Yeah.
But the powerful way to integrate your voice is to hum, or even just make any kind of random sounds. And an amazing combo would be to just dance it out and then just make any sounds, because it's all just letting go of stuck energy in your system.
Yeah,
What
that's
it
so
is
true.
is giving ourselves permission to fully express in the moment. Because think about it. What is singing? What is dancing? We're expressing. Energy is flowing through us. We're creating sound, and they make us feel good. And imagine if, I mean, there's so many amazing modalities out there, but singing and dancing, if you just add them as a complementary, because they literally will complement any modality. Where if someone's doing a treatment and then it's like, okay, when you go home, I want you to put this song on and sing and dance along. It just uplifts people. And then what are they doing? They're self-regulating their own nervous system. They start to become more empowered. Oh, when I put that song on, I feel better.
Yeah.
And
it also raises that mind-body connection and just awareness of your whole system anyway, which is another benefit of dancing and singing, because you actually have to be in your body, and it brings you into presence in that way as well, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, if you could leave people with one message about caring for themselves, each other, and the planet, besides everything we just talked about, what would it be?
Well, I think it would be, well, actually, maybe just again to highlight the importance of prioritizing things that makes us feel that connection, both to ourselves, whether it's with taking a walk in the forest or if it's singing or and dancing and stuff like that, but to do things that keeps like getting us to our center and to be able to feel ourselves, because it's so easy to get distracted and a bit beside yourselves in the daily lives we live, and also to prioritize the same in regard to the connection to each other and to our planet, because we really need that to thrive as individuals, but also because I think that's what we need as a whole to be able to, well, the climate crisis for one, but a lot of other stuff as well, that we can live together if we all kind of have practices that makes us connect and it can be a bit difficult because, you know, when we connect, then also we can feel all the things that isn't that comfortable to feel in the world. So in that sense, I get why it's easy to just, you know, lock down and then not feel connected, because it's there's a lot of many different things in the world. But I think to find a way maybe to meditate on or maybe dance while feeling connected, because in that way you kind of transform these not so wonderful feelings while connecting, and then you can focus on the uplifting part of feeling connected. I've been doing a lot of practice to do that, because I've had that tendency to lock down, and then I really want to connect, because I feel that's the way forward. So yeah.
And that's such an awareness to just even notice that you're shutting down, right? Because once we notice we've shut down, then we can do something about it, or not, but hopefully. Because it's interesting, you mentioned before that we really all are one organism. Bruce Lipton talks about this with epigenetics, how with all of us as a people, we're really, all our cells are like a whole community. They've got to work in harmony together. And so we as humans need to find a way to accept each other. And it's hard when you're so empathic, which you clearly are, because you're feeling so much in the world, and it's learning to discern what's yours, what's not feeling responsible for it, knowing how to deal with that energy. And Madeline said it before, even just the humming. I had a client who had an alcoholic father, and she would go to her when he was home and one of his rages, she would go and lock herself in her cupboard and just rock herself and hum. And I thought, wow, this was when she was little. Her innately, she knew to hum. The body just knew to hum to regulate the nervous system, to massage the vagus nerve and activate the parasympathetic. And this is the power of knowing how instantaneous our voice can affect our physiology, our mental health, our emotional state, help us express stuff, and then it's out and it's all of a sudden you feel better, and spiritually. And I think humming's such a safe thing too, because you've never heard anyone say, oh, I can't hum. No, I don't like my humming voice. But everyone will say, so many people will say, I can't sing. I don't like my singing voice. but you won't hear them say that about humming. So it's a really safe way to start with people that are struggling, to encourage them. Well, just go and walk in nature and hum to yourself. I think that's definitely one of my go-tos. I'll go to the beach and I'll start humming, or I'll start singing to myself, and that will lift me up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of musicians are very artistic and empathic, and we feel a lot in the world, and sometimes it's very overwhelming, especially there's so much going on at the moment with the global awakening and all of us waking up to, being more in our hearts, being more sovereign, making choices from that present state of awareness. Because if we're not present with ourselves, we actually don't know what we're feeling, because we're not really in our bodies.
Yeah.
Totally. And to go on to the other side of the spectrum when it comes to how people feel about their voice, you do a lot of vocal looping. Can you just explain to our audience what exactly that is and how you do that in your live performances?
Yeah, well, I discovered vocal looping a couple of years ago and has just been really fascinated and drawn to it ever since, because it's kind of a technique where you use your voice to build a whole song and the arrangement. And then you can, the software I use at least, you can program like which part should be repeated when. So you can arrange a whole song just using your voice. And then I love to use effects as well, because I don't really have a bass voice, so I use an effect to be able to sound like a bass as well, and stuff like that. And to me, it's just wonderful to be able to create music that way, because the way from getting the idea or having some kind of music come through me somehow, it's just it's really quick and easy for me to get it out there in the way it flows through me. So I loved as well on the album I did It's Time, where I worked with musicians, because it's amazing like what other people can do with their instrument that I'm not able to, but also to be able to just do it all by yourself, and just it's kind of amazing and a lot of fun. Yeah.
And
Totally.
it's creativity. And what is creativity? That's that source connection. When we're being creative, we get in the flow state, and all of a sudden you've been working on something that's just felt so amazing, and it could be like 5 hours later, but it feels like 5 minutes because you were such in a flow state.
Yeah.
Which is a real scientific term for the brain.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And music takes you there quickly into a flow state.
Definitely. Yeah.
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 And it's such a good point too when it comes to being creative, and especially like as a songwriter, having that creativity flow through you and being able to like create this masterpiece of a song on your own and just with your voice. Like that for me resonates a lot, and it's something that I would like to delve into that world more. But it's also amazing to collaborate, because something else always comes out of that. It's kind of like, because we run singing circles, or the loose forms of choirs here in Australia on the East Coast.
Very relaxed
choirs. And we always finish our sessions with improvisation. And what I love about that is that it's always unique to the moment, because I get different people who come each week, and even if we've done the same song over, a couple of years of people coming to class and they know the song really well, but even still they'll come up with something different each time. And every time it's different, even though we've got a variety of songs that we use, but it's amazing how it's always, there's something new that always comes out. And then someone else might do something that will spark an idea within you, and you'd be like, oh, I'm going to try that. And so collaborating and connecting with other people in that creative process will also bring out ideas within you that you might not have had otherwise. So I think it's kind of like a metaphor for life, of being able to express fully on your own and in your own creative expression with your own ideas, which is really empowering because you feel like you've got what it takes to do it on your own. And this goes for anything, not just music. But then it's the other side of allowing and receiving help and connection and community and being a part of something that's larger than just you. And I think to incorporate both of that into your life it's an art form.
Yeah.
And it's something that everyone
definitely
needs to keep working on and have fun on that journey along the way as well.
Yeah, that resonates a lot, and I think that's actually part of the reason why I just keep singing in that choir I go to once a week, because I mean I do a lot of my own music, but it's just not the same as singing in the choir. It's so it makes a lot of sense what you're saying.
And would you consider running your own choir? Is that something you would do, or?
Well, in a way I do, because in my workshops and both in my when people come to my workshops, or if I'm hired to do a workshop in an organization or something, I will make choirs. So there I've been writing songs specifically for the purpose, and then having like 3 different voices. So we kind of make a choir, but so in that way, yes. But I haven't had like a choir where everybody shows up weekly. So not in that sense, but maybe at some point. But at the moment, I'm really happy with the workshops, and just and it's amazing to sit there every time and then teach these voices, and then suddenly hear it back to you when people sing them. Both just hearing the sound, but also watching their faces when suddenly they realize, wow, we're singing in 3 voices and it sounds amazing, because most of them aren't really that used to singing, so it's kind of new.
That is
and I just think that's such a wonderful metaphor as well, actually, for the way where we all have our unique voice, but also just unique way of being or abilities or in life. But like when we combine them, like the whole gets just so much bigger than the part, and that's to me what we just see every time when we sing together.
Yeah, I was listening to your song Breathe today, actually, and I was thinking just that. I was like, oh, this would be perfect in class, because you've got so many different harmony parts that come in, and they're quite simple. And that's the beauty of, this style of work that like we all do. When it's simple and you just get people to start singing, and all of a sudden they're singing in 3-4 part harmonies and they've never sung before in their life. It's amazing. And I think people underestimate themselves, for one, when it comes to singing, but also sometimes as facilitators, we underestimate the people who come to our workshops and our classes, and people will pick up music so much more quickly than you think, and because it's so intrinsic within us. And once people have that permission, and if you can create a safe enough space for people, it's amazing. And it's so empowering, which is also the beautiful part about it.
Yeah, because that's what we do on a weekly basis with the singing circles. Because we run it casual. It's always been casual. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years, and whoever shows up, and I think it made me a better teacher, because I had to really think quickly on my feet. Okay, once you could hear them sing, it'd be like, all right, they'll be able to handle this. So I would. But it comes down to having really good, easy things that you can teach quickly, that harmonise, and then they are singing, like Madeline said, they're singing 3-part harmony, and they're like, wow, look what we just did. And you don't have to be a big formal choir for that. So I think it's a real gift what you're bringing, because I've seen it in my own life, and I see my daughter now doing that. It's amazing. and that you're doing it over in Denmark. And I think that we should do a Sing to Thrive and the singing doctor Freja Eriksen workshop one day when we're all in similar parts of the world.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I would love that.
Yeah, I would too. You've got an amazing voice.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, really beautiful voice. And yeah, it's the conscious intention behind what we're doing. You know, it really is helping so many people, certainly for us on a local level. And now that we've started our online platform that's been running for a year now,
Wow.
the feedback has been phenomenal. And it's not about, some people are coming in to sing that they really want to improve their singing voice. And Madeline's a fantastic teacher. She's got lots of vocal coaching and what have you in there. But there's a lot of healing activation tools and things that people can use to clear the emotional blocks, the limiting beliefs, so they can really start relaxing open. Because would you agree that when you sing your best, you are fully relaxed and open? There's no constriction in your body. You're just able to access your power and your breath and sing from that space.
Yes, definitely. I was actually asked that question just the other day. I think it was like if I had any practices I used to kind of take care of my voice, and what I came up with is exactly that for me it's kind of a taking care of all of me in order to take care of my voice. I mean, I have to take care of my body physically, but also my emotions and my connection, and because that's when it definitely works the best. And I think the way I feel it when I sing is pretty similar to what you described earlier, that in the beginning I just think it was not very conscious, but it has become more and more conscious. And I think that what I'm doing is just kind of emptying myself basically in order to let whatever flows through me flow through me, and to be able to do that, I mean, that's a lot harder if there's something you're frustrated about, or if you're anxious, or so in that way, yeah, for me it's taking care of it all.
Yeah.
Our body is the instrument.
Say that again, Maddie.
Our body is the instrument when we sing. So if we're in it and we're not taking care of it, not maintaining it and looking after it, then it instantly affects the voice.
Yeah.
So what are your offerings?
Yeah, what
Yeah. Well, my offerings are like I do concerts and keynotes and workshops, both at festivals or organizations or conferences, where I combine the music and the science in order to both inspire health and well-being and just connection and sustainability, as we've talked about. So that is mainly what I do. And my website is, because my main website is in Danish, but the English version is a one-pager, and that would be like my name, frejaeriksen.com, and then /English. Then there you'll get an overview.
You've got a YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Really, really lovely. I think that's a great way for people to listen to you. And
Yeah, your music is also on Spotify as well. I was listening to it today. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and that's under your name as well.
Yeah.
Freya.
Yeah, it is, and YouTube as well. I think they're Freja Eriksen, the singing doctor, and that would be a great place too. Yeah.
the comments, I was looking through some of the comments on YouTube, and people are really affected. You know, this conscious music cracks people's hearts open. It helps them to feel, get in touch with those lost parts of themselves. And I think it's terrific. And yeah, let's collaborate. Let's do something further down the track when we get back from the UK, because we're taking a small group of people to sing the sacred sites and the ley lines in the UK, and then up through England and up into Scotland, and then over to Fingal's Cave.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Oh, it is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I've been having so many lucid dreams, and I really feel like this will be a big activation for us. I've been doing this work a long time, and it is really powerful what we're doing, and the world needs it. And so as soon as I saw what you were doing, I thought, oh yes, like a like-hearted soul on the other side of the world doing something similar. And yeah, I think, like Madeline said, let's get it out there. And can you imagine? Oh yeah, I had a vision actually while you were talking. I saw hospitals with colour therapy, like they're just colourful, with beautiful music playing, positive words. Can you imagine? Oh my God.
It kind of sounds like a no-brainer that should always like already be there. But yeah, that's so true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll just have to keep inspiring, and I'm sure the younger generation coming through, like your generation, and it is definitely going to start making some big changes. Because for us to be sustainable and have that connectivity and to live from that heart, you know, the wisdom of the heart, yeah, we need change. And what we're seeing now in the world is a dismantling of old systems that do not work. And we have to all keep focusing on what we want to create, and that's where the voice is powerful. And singing positive songs, because it really does give you, your heart, hope, and keeps you, I mean, if you start going down the rabbit hole of quantum physics, we are literally, the field is emerging from us. So we are creating our reality. So what we focus on, what we sing about, what we speak about, with the sound and the tone and the intention, it all makes a difference. So
Yeah, and also just, I mean, when we feel that connection that we do when we sing, then just I just think it makes it so much easier to find the meaning in our lives and our contribution, because we feel the connection. So just as when we talked about, like, we are just like cells in our collective organism, it's just, imagine like a liver cell not knowing it's a liver cell. I mean, it would be kind of without meaning. It wouldn't have a purpose, because its purpose is to be a liver cell, and so it has to have the connection to the rest of the body in order to feel purpose and meaning. And I just find that singing and music is great in that sense as well.
I love that metaphor.
Totally. That's beautiful. Well, Freya, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was so wonderful meeting you, and just I find it so fascinating with the internet that we can meet like-minded people, like from the opposite side of the world, and just connect. So yeah, so thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we are so blessed, and thank you for doing what you do. And let's keep spreading the word of getting the music out there and getting people singing and using their voice to regulate their own nervous system and to make them reclaim their joy, because it truly is that quick. We can do it so quickly. So lots of love, and we'll stay in touch. And thank you so much for being and sharing your story with us today.
Well, thank you too.
Thank you.